Evidently, there is still some hope for Justice League financially. Yesterday, some box office totals came in, and the movie made about 481 million worldwide globally, just under 500 million, and this is after basically a week of being out. And the movie has about 3 more weeks left to be in theaters before Star Wars Episode 8 comes out on December 15th. Because today is November 27th? And so December 15th, it's 3 more weeks for Justice League to make as much money as it can before, the Star Wars juggernaut hits. And even after Star Wars Episode 8 hits theaters, Justice League will still be playing, and it can still make, just whatever little money it can for another couple of weeks or whatever before it's pulled from theaters. So there is still a chance that the movie could reach the 700 millions or maybe even the 800 million range. I don't know if it's going to reach the 800 millions. I mean, it's a possibility, but I'm not sure. But who knows? So far, it seems to be playing almost like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Another Warner Brothers movie that came out the exact same time, I think last year or the year before last, which wound up making in the $800 million range. So Justice League could do just as well as that. And this is somewhat comforting, I'm sure, for Warner Brothers executives and DC movie fans like me who want the universe to succeed. Because I know things weren't really looking that good when it got a $94 million domestic, opening weekend last week. But what's saving Justice League and what's helping it is it's doing pretty well overseas. Globally, it's making most of its money there, which is great. It seems like a lot of other countries have more love for the DC universe, movie universe, than people here in the States do right now, at least when it comes to this movie. And it had a really big opening in China. I think it opened in China like this past weekend or a little while ago, and it did very well over there. Very good business compared to how much, American movies usually make in China. So Justice League is still alive. Is it alive and well? We'll see. I know I just mentioned before that it could wind up playing like Fantastic Beasts, which made $800 million and had the same. I think it opened 74 million at a 74 million its opening weekend, but because it had strong legs, wound up making it 800 mil before it left theaters. And so maybe Justice League could do that. Mark Hughes in Forbes wrote a very long, article a little while ago saying how he doesn't think that it's going to make 800 million and play like Fantastic Beasts, but I still hold out hope that it can. It'll probably at least make in the 700 million, which is great. Because there were articles saying that Justice League had to make about 600 million to make a profit because they spent so much money on reshoots. And there was another article from The Independent that said that Warner Brothers was looking at a $50 to $100 million loss on Justice League. Of course, that came out November 20th, well before, this past weekend when Justice League had a pretty good, second week hold. I think the drop was 57%, which is actually pretty good, pretty solid overall. So, it wasn't a steep 60 or 70%, which were the second weekend drops of BVS and Suicide Squad. And I think Man of Steel, DC movies except for Wonder Woman have had pretty steep second weekend drops. Justice League's second weekend drop has been, a lot better. However, that's coming off of a low opening weekend. $94 million US is the lowest that any DC movie has opened so far in this current era. So, in some ways it's good, in some ways it's bad. However, ultimately, what's going to help the movie or hurt it is going to be how much money it makes in total before it leaves theaters. And I think we're pretty much looking at it, making at least in the 700 millions after here. It's already at 500 million and it's only been out a week. So I'm pretty sure the movie can make 200 million more before, at least that much before it's out of theaters. Can it get to 800 million? Maybe. I think chances are slim, but like I was saying, international audiences seem to have a lot more love for Justice League than the American ones do. Coco and Wonder, two other movies that were aimed very strong Thanksgiving releases, are probably cutting into Justice League's family appeal. Justice League has been turned into an all-ages kind of movie, but we have Coco, which appeals to families and is getting great reviews and is the #1 movie this weekend. And then also we have Wonder, that movie with Jacob Tremblay and Julia Roberts, where he's a little kid with a facial deformity or a scar. That plays big with families and little kids too. So those movies are probably, drawing some of the people away who would normally be seeing Justice League if they weren't playing at the same time. But still, in spite of all that, Justice League is doing very well, very strong overseas, and it is still playing here. So, there is some hope that it won't be as embarrassing of a box office showing as it might have turned out to be for Warner Brothers. I know opening less than Thor Ragnarok and opening under $100 million domestically, those aren't really the kinds of results that Warner Brothers was hoping for. But what matters ultimately is just the total money. I mean, how much money you making over time. So if Justice League can get into that $700 and $800 million range, it'll be good news for Warner Brothers. They won't be losing money, they'll be gaining money, and it'll be an incentive for them to feel a lot more confident going into Justice League 2 if they make a sequel. And I think they will eventually, but I just think the only thing that'll change is they might be waiting a bit and retooling how they'll do Justice League 2. I might do another video pretty soon talking about the changes and directions I think Warner Brothers should make and maybe is making now in light of Justice League's, underperformance, at least upfront underperformance, and the directions they might take in the future. But if you are a DC fan who likes DC movies and wants them to succeed, and you did like Justice League, go see it again. Take your friends, take families, take your family, take your lover, whatever. Go see the movie, or just go take yourself, see it again. Or if you haven't seen the movie yet, go see it. I did see Justice League myself. I've seen it like 3 times already. I really enjoyed it. And I didn't see it 3 times just to help it succeed. I actually did like the movie. I wouldn't have seen it 3 times if I was thinking, oh, I want to see this. I liked it. And that's why I'm giving it repeat business. I might even see it more times, too, in these coming weekends. But anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate your viewership. Please like and subscribe. And if you want to watch me make more videos about DC movies and TV shows and comic books, come right back here, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.